Have you ever noticed how some people seem to glide through life, calm, composed, untouchable by the chaos that rattles everyone else? You watch them in the storm of life and they're steady, unshaken, in control. And then you see others, high, strung, reactive, tossed around by every disappointment, every criticism, every little frustration. There's a stark difference, isn't there? And that difference starts here, in this very idea I want to share with you, the power of not showing emotion. Not in a cold or heartless way, but in a way that preserves your energy, your focus, and your ability to act with clarity and wisdom. Because let me tell you a secret. Most people never understand. Emotions are not just feelings, they are signals. Powerful signals, yes, but signals that, if uncontrolled, can destroy everything you work for. Think about the last time anger took over you. Maybe someone cut you off in traffic. Maybe a coworker criticized your work unfairly. Or maybe in your personal life someone said something that touched a nerve. You felt it, didn't you? That rush in your chest, the tightness in your throat, the sudden urge to react. Now, what did that moment cost you? Perhaps you said something you regret. Perhaps your thoughts clouded, your decision-making faltered, and your day was derailed. Every single time you react emotionally, without control, you trade a piece of your power for a fleeting satisfaction. And here's the hard truth. Life doesn't care about your feelings. It moves forward, relentless and impartial, whether you are calm or raging. Now, before you think I'm advocating a life of stone-faced suppression, let me be clear. This is not about pretending you are unfeeling or living like a robot. This is about mastery. This is about the deliberate choice to respond, not react. You see, people who succeed, people who make their mark on the world, they understand this distinction. They feel the anger, they feel the disappointment, they feel the frustration, but they do not allow it to dictate their behavior. Instead, they pause, they think, they measure, and in that pause they find opportunity. There is a lesson here that most people never learn. The world rewards composure. It rewards those who can keep their heads when everyone else is losing theirs. It rewards those who can stay focused, who can analyze a situation without letting emotions cloud their judgment. In every story of extraordinary achievement, from the boardrooms of great corporations to the battlefields of history, you will find men and women who mastered this principle. They did not lash out, they did not crumble. They held themselves steady. And that steadiness, that calmness in the storm is one of the most powerful tools you can possess. Think about it in terms of influence. People are drawn to calmness. People respect those who do not fly off the handle, who do not wear their emotions on their sleeves. When you are controlled, others feel it. They sense your stability, your reliability, your confidence. And in every area of life, business, relationships, leadership, negotiation, confidence is currency. And nothing destroys confidence faster than uncontrolled emotion. How can people trust your decisions if they see you ruled by impulses? How can people follow you if they witness you explode at the slightest provocation? Now, let me share with you a practical way to begin mastering this principle. Start by observing yourself. Pay attention to the moments when you feel the surge of emotion, the irritation, the jealousy, the disappointment. Notice where it starts physically. Is it in your stomach, your chest, your jaw? Recognize it. Label it. Just this act of awareness interrupts the automatic reaction. Awareness is the first step toward control. Once you can identify it, you can choose your response. You may not erase the feeling, but you can manage the action it might provoke. And that management is freedom. Consider also the power of silence. There is immense strength in saying nothing when the world expects you to react. When someone provokes you, when someone challenges you, when the pressure mounts, silence is your ally. It gives you time, it gives you perspective, and it gives you control. While others are flailing, while others are drowning in their emotional responses, you stand firm. And in that firmness lies opportunity. You see, while emotion clouds judgment, calmness clarifies it. You begin to see solutions, alternatives, pathways that the frantic mind cannot. But here's the part most people struggle with. Society does not always value composure. In fact, it often celebrates the loud, the angry, the reactive. Movies, media, even workplaces reward drama, impulsive displays, emotional outbursts. And if you measure your own self-worth against these noisy examples, you will be trapped in a cycle of reaction, exhaustion, and frustration. But if you measure yourself against results, against long-term goals, against mastery over your own mind, you begin to see the advantage of restraint. You see the power in holding your tongue, in controlling your posture, in regulating your voice, in managing your internal state. There is also another benefit, perhaps one that is more subtle but just as important. Emotional restraint protects your energy. Every time you react, every time you allow your emotions to spill over, you expend energy. That energy could have been applied to creating, building, learning, acting strategically. Anger, jealousy, fear. They are all energy-draining forces if left unchecked. But when you master them, when you contain them, that energy is redirected. Suddenly you are stronger, you are sharper, you are faster, and life rewards those who are strong, sharp, and fast. Now let's talk about relationships, because many people fail here. They let emotion rule their interactions, and the consequences are often devastating. Think about arguments with friends, disagreements with colleagues, conflicts with family. How often do these escalate unnecessarily because someone let pride, anger, or frustration take control? But if you practice restraint, if you choose not to show every emotion that bubbles up inside you, the dynamic changes. People listen. People respect. Conflicts are resolved more efficiently. Trust is built because others see you as steady, as reliable as someone whose word is measured and deliberate. And here's the subtle mastery. When you control your emotions, you gain an almost imperceptible edge in negotiations and influence. People often think emotional reactions are natural and unavoidable, but they are not. They are choices. And the person who can remain calm, who can stay composed under pressure, who can detach just enough to observe the landscape with clarity, that person has power. Others may believe power is in shouting or in emotional display, but true power is quiet. True power is measured. True power is invisible until it is revealed in action. You might ask, but isn't showing emotion natural? Isn't it human? Yes, it is human, but so is mastery. You wouldn't expect a skilled musician to hit the wrong notes every time just because music is natural. You wouldn't expect a top athlete to ignore training just because physical effort is natural. Mastery is the natural extension of human capability. And mastering emotion, especially learning when not to show it, is one of the highest forms of personal mastery. It is a skill that can be learned, practiced, refined, and perfected over a lifetime. Consider the times when history's great leaders faced crisis. Winston Churchill, Abraham Lincoln, Martin Luther King Jr., what do they all have in common? They maintained composure when chaos reigned. They controlled their expressions, their speech, their demeanor. They were calm, deliberate, and focused even when everything around them threatened to collapse. And that composure inspired confidence, loyalty, and action. You see, showing emotion indiscriminately can make people doubt you. Controlling it can make them trust you, follow you, and even fear you in a respectful way, not in intimidation, but in the recognition of your self-mastery. Now here's an exercise you can begin today. The next time something triggers you, pause, count to 10. Observe the feeling without acting on it. Consider the consequences of any reaction before you respond. Ask yourself, will this reaction serve me? Will it advance my goals, protect my energy, maintain my relationships, or strengthen my position? If the answer is no, hold back. If the answer is yes, act deliberately, not impulsively. Over time, this becomes instinctive. Over time, you train your mind to operate from a place of power, not vulnerability. Remember, life will constantly challenge you, provoke you, and push your buttons. There will always be someone who tests your patience, someone who questions your abilities, someone who wants to see you unravel, but every moment you choose composure over chaos, every moment you choose thought over impulse, you gain something few ever do, control. And control is freedom. Control is strength. Control is the ability to navigate the storms of life with clarity, precision, and confidence. And finally, consider this. Showing emotion in excess is like showing your cards in a poker game. Life is full of people watching, waiting for you to react, waiting to take advantage. When you maintain composure, when you do not reveal your inner turbulence, you create mystery, you create respect, you create influence. And most importantly, you retain your power to act strategically, decisively, and effectively. Because remember, emotions are not just feelings, they are signals. Learn to read them, but never let them read you. Now, let's explore something most people never stop to consider. Emotion clouds memory. Think about the moments in your life when you were angry or upset. Can you remember clearly what was said, what happened, or what was important? Or does it all blur into a fog of reaction, misunderstanding, and regret? When you let emotion dictate your behavior, you lose perspective. You forget details, miss opportunities, and sometimes make decisions you later wish you hadn't. But when you learn the discipline of composure, you sharpen your memory, you heighten your awareness, and you can think with clarity. This is why the most effective leaders, the most successful entrepreneurs, the most respected figures in history, all demonstrate this quality. Their calmness is not by accident. It is cultivated. And here is another truth that might surprise you. Not showing emotion does not mean ignoring it. It means understanding it. It means recognizing the message your feelings carry without letting them take control. Every emotion has a signal within it. Anger may reveal a boundary that has been crossed. Fear may reveal a risk that must be acknowledged. Disappointment may reveal an expectation that needs adjustment. But the key is to observe these signals, not react to them immediately. You are the master of your mind, not a slave to your impulses. Think also about negotiation. In business, in relationships, in life, the person who reacts emotionally often loses leverage. They reveal too much. They make decisions prematurely. They give away power. But when you remain calm, measured, and in control, people notice. They respect your steadiness. They wait for your response. And in that waiting, you gain the advantage. You see, life rewards patience and precision more than it rewards bluster and reaction. Consider the financial world. How often do people make disastrous investments or business choices because fear or greed took control? How often do people act rashly in the stock market, in business deals, or in career decisions because they allowed emotion to dominate logic? The path to success is not through impulsive reactions. It is through careful calculation, patience, and the ability to detach just enough to see the bigger picture. Not showing emotion is not denial. It is strategy. And let's not forget the personal realm, where emotions can destroy relationships before they have the chance to grow. Arguments escalate, misunderstandings fester, trust erodes, all because someone let their feelings dictate their words or actions. But imagine the impact if, instead of reacting, you paused. Imagine the clarity, the understanding, the respect that would emerge. You maintain control over yourself, and in doing so, you invite others to rise to the same level. Composure is contagious. Calmness breeds calmness. Another lesson emerges when you consider the stories of those who have faced incredible adversity. Think of the pioneers, the innovators, the trailblazers. In times of pressure, they did not succumb to panic. They did not let fear or frustration cloud their vision. They observed, they calculated, they acted. And the world often misreads their calmness as confidence. They are confident, yes, but more importantly, they are disciplined. They have mastered the art of controlling their responses, and in doing so, they have turned every challenge into an opportunity. Now, let me share a practical approach to strengthen this discipline. Every morning, take a few minutes to visualize situations that might provoke you. Imagine someone criticizes you, challenges you, or tries to provoke a reaction. Feel the initial surge of emotion, but do not act. Instead, visualize yourself responding calmly, deliberately, and with strategy. Practice this mental rehearsal daily. The mind cannot distinguish between vividly imagined experience and reality. By training your mind this way, you are creating automatic pathways of control, so when the real moment arrives, you respond with composure naturally. And here is one more subtle but powerful insight. Not showing emotion protects your reputation. Consider how quickly rumors, misunderstandings, and gossip can spread. If you respond impulsively, if you let anger or frustration show, you feed the story. But if you remain calm, measured, and silent when appropriate, you maintain dignity and authority. Others will respect you for your restraint. They will trust you. They will seek your judgment. And in this way, your reputation becomes a fortress rather than a fragile structure that crumbles at the slightest provocation. Now, I want you to pause for a moment and really think about this. Every time you react without control, you are giving someone else power over your mind. Every time you allow emotion to dictate your actions, you are surrendering control. But when you master composure, you reclaim that power. You reclaim your energy, your focus, and your ability to create the life you desire. And make no mistake, life is always testing you, always challenging you, always looking for weakness. The moment you show uncontrolled emotion, life sees a crack. But the moment you remain steady, you become unshakable. And finally, remember this principle. Mastery over emotion is not a one-time achievement. It is a daily practice, a constant commitment. Each interaction, each challenge, each frustration is an opportunity to exercise this discipline. Over time, this mastery becomes second nature. You begin to notice a profound shift. Your decisions improve, your relationships strengthen, your influence grows, and your life moves forward with precision and purpose. This is not theory, this is a proven law of human behavior. The calm, composed, disciplined individual always outperforms the reactive, emotional one.